Susie with this wonderful presentation this afternoon. Hi, Susie.
Hi, good evening.
Susie.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Hi. You can start your presentation. Thank you.
Okay, great. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I know what it's like at the end of a long work day to extend that and invest in yourself and continuing education. So really appreciate you guys being here. I'll go ahead and get started. Just a little bit of background on me. My name's Susan Cashin. On LinkedIn, people call me Susie for short. But on LinkedIn, I am Susan Cashin. I'm the president of GrowthWise Sales Consulting, and I act as a fractional chief revenue officer or outsourced vice president of sales for small to mid-sized companies. I started my career in corporate America with some very iconic brands, some world-class sales organizations. I spent the first 24 years of my career building world-class sales organizations. So I like to say it was the best paid education working in corporate America that really set me up for where I'm at today, running my own consulting business, GrowthWise Sales Consulting. The typical clients that I serve are well-funded startups to about $50 million in annual revenue across all industries. If you think about it, sales problems are pretty common across all different kinds of businesses and industries. So I can really help any company with flat to declining revenue and or growth-minded companies that want to scale their company to take it to the next level. So more specifically, the type of work that I do is designing high-performing sales teams. I implement scalable sales infrastructure for sustainable growth so companies can continue to grow. I develop go-to-market sales strategies. I help companies to hire, develop, and manage their sales teams on a fractional basis. So, what does that look like? Maybe a half a day or a full day to 2 days a week. I'll work with one client depending on the size of the team and how much time they need. Some of the infrastructure that I build out for companies to set them up with a successful sales function or sales department is done in a project capacity. So ultimately, I help to turn around stagnant or declining revenue trends in companies, and I help them to increase their enterprise value through profitable revenue growth. And the clients that I serve actually, on average, see about a 30% year over year increase in revenue in year one after engaging with me. So I do see a couple of comments, people saying hello, thank you, they're popping up. I won't be able to answer questions though throughout. So I go ahead, you can put them in the chat. I won't see them necessarily until the very end. At the end, there's a QR code so that you can connect with me on LinkedIn, or you can just look me up as Susan Cashin as a way to stay in touch. So this actually, what we're going to be going through today is I'm going to talk about one of the most important elements in growing your business and or your brand using LinkedIn and AI tools. LinkedIn is truly the digital first impression, if you will. Before somebody ever is going to refer you, before they hire you, before they invest any time, any of their time in you, they're going to look you up. If your profile doesn't clearly communicate who you help, how you create value, and why you're credible, you chance leaving revenue on the table. And so tonight we're going to go ahead and discuss turning your LinkedIn profile into a strategic referral and revenue source for you, leveraging some really cool, neat new AI tools that will help you with the lead generation process in finding new prospects and building out your network. I'll provide you with some pro tips and some productivity tools that will help you to expand your network. And of course, you'll have access to this slide deck at the end So you'll be able to reference that and go back if you choose to make any updates and optimize your LinkedIn profile based on the things that we're going to talk about tonight. Now, what I have done here is actually taken a live workshop and I've adapted it to a webinar setting. So, a lot of the slides I've added pro tips so that will direct and guide you if you choose to use the deck as a reference tool to go back and make those changes. And then, a lot of what I'm going to share with you, we're going to go through a lot of content, but you will definitely have the deck to help you out once you refer back to it. So, LinkedIn is the most powerful business to business social media platform worldwide to let people and businesses know that you exist. They have about 875 million users worldwide, and 58 million companies are on LinkedIn. 40% of those companies actually say that the platform is their number one lead generation source. So, with statistics like that, you can totally understand the power of LinkedIn and why it is so important to have an optimized profile. So hopefully you'll take away a couple things from today's webinar that you'll use to elevate either your company or your personal or both profiles on LinkedIn. But before we jump in, I want to preface this that any changes that you make to your profile, you want to make sure that you select the deactivate option on your profile or your company page so that it's not sharing out every single word change update that you make, right? So go into the settings first. And on the slide, there's a pro tip. It says, how to, you go settings, privacy, visibility, share profile updates, turn it off. And then that way, once you've optimized your LinkedIn profile, you can go back and turn it back on. And then people will see the new and improved profile. So let's jump in. You know that saying, a picture's worth 1,000 words, and that couldn't be any more true than with your LinkedIn profile. You want to make sure that you are uploading a professional color photo, not black and white. And you want to make sure that you're the only person in the photo and use either a solid background or a light colored background, kind of like the one that's featured here, because they tend to feature you and focus on you, the person in the photo, versus everything in the background. And then make sure it's a recent photo. And this holds true for the dating world as well. I hear all the time a number of my friends that say, yeah, I showed up for that date and he didn't look anything like he did in his profile picture. The same holds true for LinkedIn, right? So if you think about how you're going to use LinkedIn, it might be to find a job, it might be to showcase you as the CEO or a solopreneur business owner. And if you're actually out and at networking events or you're meeting somebody in your local market for coffee, you want to make sure that they can pick you out in a crowd, right? So you want to be sure that even if you've colored your hair, you've gone from brown to blonde hair or blonde to brown or brown to gray, right? You want to make sure that you update and make sure that you look as relevant as you do in person. And if you can focus on the picture in the upper right-hand corner, I have added this because this is actually a personal story that I'm going to share with you. This is a profile picture that a salesperson who worked for me back in my corporate career had on his LinkedIn. And I had a sales recruiter that I was connected with, reach out to me because they saw I was connected with this gentleman. His name's Brad. And the recruiter reached out to me and said, hey, how do you know Brad? I see you're connected with this guy. And I said, he used to work for me. And he goes, oh, great. Um, is he worth his weight in gold? And I gave him, a glowing reference, right? Kept it super professional, but I talked about his accomplishments and, he was just a very excellent person on my team, sales team. Well, the recruiter, then presented him to a company. And if you can believe it, Brad did not even get an interview. And you know why? Because the business owner and one of the HR managers were extremely offended by his profile picture. If you can see there, he obviously likes to hunt. He caught a deer and he was showcasing his trophy. Okay, reserve that for your personal social media, not your professional social media. So I encourage you, going back to your profile picture, you stick to just a single picture of yourself. The background image. This is really prime real estate to tell people more about who you are, the company that you work for, showcase your skills. Um, if you have a corporate headquarters, you could actually have a picture of the company headquarters with the marquee, the name of the company. Um, so here's an example of one that I've used in the past. Your profile picture will actually justify to the left side. So any words that you have, we exist to solve one problem, sales, you want to make sure is not covered by your picture, and that it's right justified in the background image. I featured an example here of my headline in the upper right hand corner. You can see my name. So crafting your headline, this is right below your profile picture and right below your name. Using keywords couldn't be more important any other part of your LinkedIn profile, whether it's a company profile page or your personal or professional profile page. You want to use descriptive words like outsourced sales leadership, fractional CRO, advisor, and then the types of companies that I help, investment firms. So you want to make sure that you're using really good keywords. And you can run that through Grok or Copilot or Chat GPT to say, based on who I am and what I do and the company I work for and the industry that I'm in, what are some great keywords that I can add to my LinkedIn headline? And it will produce a number of words for you. So the keywords are really important when it comes to searching. So there's a search bar in at the top of a LinkedIn, the LinkedIn page, and people will just go in there and they'll type in outsource sales leadership. And they will have a list of different people who have that keyword in their profile pop up. So you want to be searchable. Another thing, this is great real estate for you to add a link, a URL. You can add, like I have my Calendly link. So if you click on that blue book an appointment, it will behind that, and if you see in the bottom right hand corner, it will pop up when you're editing your headline a URL link where you can type in your Calendly link, a website where you might host, it might be for your company, or you might have a personal website where you host newsletters and podcasts and things like that. So it's great real estate to also incorporate into your headline. The about section of your profile tells in greater detail about what you do, and make sure that you're always writing in first person. I think so many years ago, and it's a dated trend, but many years ago when LinkedIn just started, a lot of people um, they were writing in kind of third person, he or she, like they had somebody write this professional profile. It's always better today to be more relevant, talking about yourself. I or we do this. Um, and then also use keywords throughout the about section to also attract and pop up in searches. You can add a call to action, like contact me. You can add your Calendly link, your website, again in the about section. And then focus your knowledge and your subject matter expertise and how you can add value and the difference that you make, what differentiates you versus anybody else that does what you do. So the next slide is actually my about section. Where you start to edit it is each section in your profile is separated. And so at the top right of each one of those sections, you'll see a pencil. You click that, and it enables you to edit your any of the sections on LinkedIn. So as you can see here, I've included some keywords: sales strategy, sales infrastructure. So if anyone puts that in a search box, that will I will show up. My profile will pop up amongst thousands and thousands of other people. But it just really helps others that are searching someone that has skill set in sales strategy, and it narrows the focus and it increases the chances that I will come up in their search. I've also taken this real estate an opportunity to include my website and a call to action. Connect with me. Here's my email address. Send me an email. I probably need to update this and add my Calendly link here as well. And then this is also really a great opportunity for you to showcase your achievements and things that you've done, any accomplishments and impact that you've created. And then a little bit towards the bottom, I have specific experience relative to my being a sales consultant. So I have both B2B and B2C experience, for example. So anyone that needs help with a sales consultant in B2C, business to consumer, versus B2B, business to business, I will pop up because I've selected those areas of expertise to come up in my about section. The experience section is just below the about section. And this is where you outline the different companies that you've worked for, or if you've only worked with one company, right? If you're the founder or the owner of a company or a solopreneur, say you've sold insurance your entire life and you have your own company, you want to make sure that it looks really professional and that you actually work for a company. A lot of people, especially those that are not assigned to a company or maybe in transition, you'll see that they've become a consultant to their industry while they're looking for another job. And many times they don't have an icon next to their name. And so it's kind of squishy, as they call it. It's like, okay, wait, are you working for a company or what? So I impress upon you that if you are a solopreneur and you don't have a company page, it's so easy to set one up and create one. And then you can go to ChatGPT and have them create an image for your company, a logo for your company. It's so easy today to do that. And then you just drop that into what would otherwise be like a profile picture. You just do it for the company. So once you've set your company page up, and then you go in your professional profile, personal profile, and you assign yourself as an employee in that company, your company logo, the little image that you created for yourself, will pop up. As you see the same thing in that, as you're adding different companies that you've worked for, you'll type in the name of the company and it automatically comes up. Most companies already have, they're have a company page. They'll automatically come up and populate. So this is also very important that you show your career progression. So instead of saying, I've worked for such and such company for 20 years, if you have showed progression or you've had promotions or different roles, it's really important to include the tenure and the experience and the time that you spent in each one of those roles because it shows initiative, it shows that you were promotable, and it shows that you have expansive experience in more than one area tied to that particular company or industry. So, and then what really brings that to life is adding a brief description on each role. And I like to highlight the accomplishments, what I did. So if you were to say staff accountant, right? There's a job description for a staff accountant. Or you could say insurance salesperson, professional, or CEO founder, it doesn't really tell a whole lot, right? There's a standard job title and description for those titles. What's more impactful is where you actually add the things that you did, that you accomplished, not just what describing the position, but what you brought to that position, the impact that you created. So um, that is super important. So once you've optimized your profile and you have your company page set up, it's time to start networking. And the first step is to join groups within LinkedIn. And once you've joined groups, it enables you to connect with other people, other thought leaders, and people that are in those groups that you want to reach out to, connect with, to expand your network. And then it enables you also to message them. And I've included kind of a sample message, a little pro tip here on, what would you say if you were to connect with someone and once they connect back or accept your connection request, you can send them a message. Hey, my name is, we're both members of this group. Um, do you want to jump on a Zoom call? I'd love to learn more about your company or what you do. So that's one way that you can expand your network. And the benefit of that is that as you become a thought leader or as you are posting in your LinkedIn feed, anything that's of interest or even reposting or sharing articles or commenting, the more people you have in your network, it actually goes out to their network as well. I post twice, I have automated LinkedIn posts that I set up at the beginning of the month for the entire month. So at any given time, I'm 4 weeks out and I know exactly what my posts are going to include or what they're going to be about. Usually a Monday or a Wednesday, then I rotate the following week, Tuesday and Thursday. So I provide thought leadership, ideas on sales tips, things of that nature. Talk a little bit about what I do to attract potential new clients. But the great thing about that is that those posts are going out to my first connections and my first connections, which are now my second connections, and even third connections. And what I love is that people comment and they'll jump into my post and they'll comment, and I'll be like, I don't know this person, right? But they saw my post, they liked my post, and it gives me the opportunity then to expand my network and connect with those people. So, um, the more you connect and comment and post with people, the broader your network will be because it automatically brings people to you. And that's an example of how I've been able to expand my network through commenting and posting in groups and just in my own feed. LinkedIn is also a really good marketing tool for your business and to build your network. So, really starts with identifying your ICP, what we call your ideal client profile, also known as an ideal customer profile, to narrow the people that you want to connect with. And so this works in two ways. If you want to promote your business to people, it's great to have a target audience. Who do you sell to, or who's your target audience that would likely be interested in your product or service as a company? As a professional, as an individual, who are the referral partners that potentially work in the exact same ecosystem that you work in, the same clients that you serve, the same target audience, the same ICP? You can develop your referral partner network as well. So, leveraging LinkedIn in both ways, both finding new business as well as expanding your professional network, referral partner network with other people that provides product and services in that same space. And so, you'll actually have your LinkedIn profile shut down if you're like spamming people, and they limit, if you have a free version, they limit the number of connections each week. I think is like 100 connections. And so I love a tool that we'll get to in a minute, but it's called Sales Navigator, and that it's a paid version. It's LinkedIn. It's a tool they provide that help you to build prospect lead lists that you can then market to those people, as well as referral partner lead lists. So the types of things that go into a targeted list as you want to narrow your focus on the people that you want to attract, either customers or referral networking partners. I always recommend that you purchase a Sales Navigator seat. I think they're about $110 a month. I don't know, you can check. But it enables you to narrow your search more specifically. And this is on the right-hand side of the page. This is what the filters and keywords look like in order to narrow your search to more specifically match your ICP, your ideal client or customer profile, and your ideal network, referral partner network. KnowledgeNet. KnowledgeNet is another tool that helps to build lead lists, but I like to say it's like Sales Navigator on steroids. It actually takes the power of LinkedIn to the next level. So KnowledgeNet sits right on top of your LinkedIn, and it will help you to build lead lists, to automate outreach sequencing, email sequencing, and app marketing outreach to a target audience from that lead list. It helps you to identify who you want to connect with. And it takes Sales Navigator to the next level in that it's more of a relationship map. So, whereas Sales Navigator will create a list, and you can do the same thing in KnowledgeNet, when you have the plugin, the KnowledgeNet.ai app plugin on your computer, it actually connects right with your LinkedIn profile. And I'll show you that on the next slide, so this will come alive for you. But it's just an extension, and you, as you're building a list, or as you go to a company page, or as you go to somebody's personal page, you'll hit the KnowledgeNet icon on your screen, which sits over on the right-hand side of your screen, your computer screen. And it will open up this relationship map, and it will show you who in your network is a first connection that this particular person that you've built or added to a lead list is connected to. So I'm Susie, and I have Jeff in my network as a first connection. And Jeff knows Sally, and Sally is a potential buyer, or Sally is a potential referral network partner that I'd like to meet. And I'm not friends with Sally, but I want a warm introduction. Jeff will make that introduction for me using the KnowledgeNet app, because it automates the email I would send to Jeff. Hey Jeff, I see you're connected with Sally. I'd like to meet her. Will you mind making a warm introduction? Assuming he has a relationship with Sally and knows her well enough to do that. So that's how KnowledgeNet is a relationship mapping tool. It uncovers connections from your first connections. It'll show you who they're connected with that might be able to make warm introductions for you. It also allows you to upload your ideal client profile. So who you are, what you do, problems you solve, and the perfect, like all those keywords. And as I showed you on the last slide in Sales Navigator, all those different filters, you can put all of that into KnowledgeNet, and it will help you to narrow your list. So it shows you the connection paths. It will give you the cell phone number, the email address of that individual. It will write emails directly to that individual if you're not connected with them and you don't have anyone in in your relationship map that knows that person, you can directly connect with that person, and the KnowledgeNet platform will actually write the email for you. And it's editable, so you can tell it super friendly or more professional or whatever, right? But it'll automate the whole process for you. Um, I want to add though that KnowledgeNet, in order for it to work in the capacity that I'm explaining with the relationship mapping, you do need that Sales Navigator seat. And it also works much better when you have a CRM, a customer relationship management program that you use. One you've probably heard of is Salesforce.com. That's more enterprise level. Most of my clients are smaller companies, startups to $50 million. They're not using Salesforce. They're using a lower version of HubSpot or a Pathfinder or ClaritySoft, um, or Go High Level are examples of other ones that are much more affordable for smaller startup companies or solopreneurs. I don't encourage you to look at a Salesforce.com right out of the gate. They're definitely the Rolls Royce, and their price point definitely shows that. So, I can actually, if you're interested in a KnowledgeNet demo, I can connect you with somebody that works at KnowledgeNet that can give you a demo, versus having to go to their website and request it. Also, we can have other further conversations on the right CRM for your business based on how you're going to use it. I don't necessarily have a preference. Here is an example of how KnowledgeNet works inside LinkedIn. This screenshot of KnowledgeNet plugin shows the details that show up. So you can see right here, there's an X. This actually, before it's an X, before it was a pop out, it was over here, and there's like this little network, like it looks like a spider web. That's what it looked like. When I clicked on that, it opened this up. I am on Jeff Baldessari, his profile page. You can do this on a company page as well. So you can go to Jeff Baldessari's page, you click the little icon that sits on top of your LinkedIn, the KnowledgeNet icon, and it pulls up all of this intelligence. So here's the relationship map. It'll tell me who Jeff's connected with that I'm not, that I might want to meet. Gives me information. This is the information. You can see this is his work history, who he's worked for. Um, Gives me his phone number. Um, for extra points, when you get a KnowledgeNet account, you're purchasing a number of points. And so when you reveal this information on somebody, you're using 4 points. If you want their mobile number, it's additional points. Then I'm going to show you something really cool. There is this little thing, right here, this C. This is Crystal Knows. If I clicked on that, it's going to give me a disc profile of Jeff. So think about this. If this is a prospect or even a potential referral network, partner that you want to meet, and you want to know how to communicate with them most effectively, the way they're going to most likely respond or receive your message, right? You can click on this, and for using more of your points that are allocated through your KnowledgeNet membership. And I think KnowledgeNet's like $65 a month. So um, you click on this and it gives you a disc profile of the individual. It tells you the do's, the don'ts, etc. Right? You can see here, click here to view their personality profile. You can use AI to write an email to the individual. So that's what KnowledgeNet does. Really, really cool, slick tool today, available that sits on top of KnowledgeNet. I mean, that sits on top of LinkedIn that enables you to expand and build your network. So just to summarize, as you're developing your network building strategy, you want to find and connect with people who are in your ideal audience. These are your customers, potential clients, and network referral partners. And once you're connected with them, you want to show up regularly where your audience is. So that's not only you posting, but going into and commenting on in LinkedIn groups. And that's posting, it's reposting. People love it. When you go and you find something inspirational or informational that you want to share, people love it when you repost their content. And then, of course, commenting. And I've commented on other people's posts pretty much on a regular basis. And people I don't even know will comment and like my comments that I've commented on other people's posts. So those are the ways to help to grow your network. And then another thing is to never lose the mindset that you want to be a servant leader and deliver value to your network. And so that's writing articles, newsletters, provide thought leadership, tagging other people. If you're at an event and there were other people that either spoke or people that you met, tag them. And then, of course, just regularly connecting with people, but delivering value so that you don't always seem like you're just taking from your network, but you're also offering value. That should be at the forefront of your mindset as you're building your network. So, a value can actually be delivered in a number of ways. As I said, creating quality content that's informative and grabs the attention of your audience, actively engaging by commenting and reposting other people's posts. Uh, Try eviai.com. It's actually a plugin as well. It's free. There's a free, I think, and a paid version. I don't know what the paid version is. I've never used it because the free version was sufficient. And so if you have this plugin, eviai.com, on your computer, in your browser, it will actually, if you want to comment on somebody, a post, and you want to jump in their thread and comment on it, eviai will pop up. It's a little purple icon and it will say, let AI draft a comment for you. So cool, right? So it's the end of the day, you're exhausted, you want to be able to add value or recognize somebody for something great that they posted and you want to comment, but you're brain dead, right? When you have Evi AI plugin, it writes it for you. Expanding your reach to those outside your first connections, obviously, like with hashtags and tagging. So, all of my posts on my feed that go out Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday, that I set up a month in advance. And by the way, the day before, 24 hours before it's scheduled to hit, it will actually send you a notification and say, tomorrow at 7:15 a.m., you have this post that's going out on LinkedIn. And it gives you the opportunity to either delay it, cancel it, because I write mine um, a month in advance. And so I might want to move another one up and move that one down. So it gives you that opportunity. It's not one and done, you're a month out and you forget. So it'll send you that notification. Um, but every single one of my posts has hashtags, right? And those hashtags are those keywords. So it might be Monday morning sales motivation. And believe it or not, if I type in that hashtag, if it, when you type those in, they'll actually be like highlighted. So you'll know that they are picked up in the search bar in LinkedIn. So that's really cool too. And so what those hashtags do is that it helps you to build your posts to go out to a much broader audience and build your network. And then, of course, using some of these really cool AI tools for that will help you with networking. And so now I'm just going to share a couple more of my favorites with you. Um, some of the categories where people are using AI tools today to build in efficiencies in either building their network or building their business is in lead generation and productivity and automation. So, lead generation. So, I went through KnowledgeNet, talked about Sales Navigator that helps to build lists. On the slide on the left, you can see Seamless AI. That is another tool or another company, AI generated company that builds lead lists at a very affordable rate. And then sometimes you're just buying a seat and it maximizes the number of credits for the number of contacts, or it will say you have a finite number of contacts that if you purchase a seat from us, here's how many leads that you can extract from our database on a monthly basis. And then there's others out there, Zoom Info and stuff that are a lot more expensive. Um, I kind of steer my clients away from like the Zoom infos and not saying they're bad. They're actually the Rolls Royce of lead list building. They were one of the first ones out there, but they tend to be a little bit more expensive, I find. Um, so we level demand sense. I'm just calling out names. I'm name dropping right now. So if you want to see a little bit more about what they do, you'll have access to the names of the companies to draw attention to see how, if you're interested in AI automated tools to help with lead generation, those are the ones to go to. From a productivity and automation standpoint, this really helps you to reclaim your hours, win some time back, right? Those are things like note takers, having a CRM. As if you think about building a lead list, you don't want to just build a lead list in Excel and leave it there. You can drop it into a CSV file or an Excel file, and then it'll upload to your CRM automatically. So there's very cost-effective CRMs, as I spoke a little bit about. Pipedrive is one of my favorites. You get a Rolls-Royce experience at a Hyundai price point. So you get a lot for very little. That's one of my favorites today. Fireflies as a note taker. There's Fathom. There is Read AI, right? So my favorite is Fireflies. This, within the lead generation category, this just kind of distills down and gives a little bit more detail on what each one of those are best for. And the same with the productivity and automation. So, with that, just in summary, while these ideas may be top of mind, I really encourage you to optimize your LinkedIn profile, your company page this week while all this information is fresh. Um, Define and redefine your ICP, right? Sometimes this changes. Sometimes you'll add a different product or a service that you want to sell. Um, and that might speak to a completely new audience. So, ICP again stands for ideal customer or client profile. You want to make sure that you're always optimizing that, and you can create different lead lists based on different ICPs. This product or service is great for this target audience, and this one for this audience, right? And just start somewhere. Start with 5 intentional conversations, meaning outreach, connecting with people on LinkedIn to build your network each week. Um, and then if you want help implementing any of these tools to help with prospecting and or building your business, would love to connect with you not only on LinkedIn, but feel free to contact me. And the next slide will be my QR code for my LinkedIn, which you can create in LinkedIn, by the way. Um, I would like to end with saying that this really is part one of, again, a very long workshop on how to develop a networking strategy. So part two, I'm actually going to deliver on March 5th. And that one gets a little bit more in the weeds on creating your ideal client profile, crafting your UVP, your universal value proposition. How are you different as a company or as a solopreneur, or even if you're looking for a job? How are you different than anyone and everyone else in your space, right? And so you want to optimize your elevator pitch, your 15 to 30-second elevator pitch, so that when you are networking with people or prospective new business, you've got it wired, dialed in, and you know exactly what you want to say and how to say it. And then we're going to dive a little bit deeper into developing the actual networking strategy. So I invite you to participate in March 5th. Again, it will be at 5 p.m. West Coast time. And that is the way to get in touch with me. So you can put your camera on the QR code and it should take you direct to my LinkedIn profile. That's my email. My website, if you want a little bit more information on my company, it's growthwiseconsultinginc.com. And that's my direct phone number if you would like to um, reach out, send me a text. So, with that, I'm going to stop sharing and I am going to, let's see, there's 6 chats. I'm going to, let's see, hey, Oceanside. We're in the same time zone. Let's see, invited fireflies. Okay, all attendees receiving slides. Greetings from LA. Hey, I used to live in LA. I grew up there. Oh, thank you very much, Paul. I appreciate it. I'm glad you found value in the webinar. Okay, so if anybody has any questions, now's time to put them in the chat. I don't think the audio for the webinar is active. So if it's not, go ahead and put a question in the chat and I can answer them. Or again, just feel free to reach out to me and you will be receiving or have access to a copy of this deck so that if you choose to update your LinkedIn profile, you can refer back to those pro tips that I included throughout the deck. Okay, I don't see any questions. I think we are done. I'm giving you 13 minutes back. I have LinkedIn Premium. It appears to offer some of what KnowledgeNet does. Can you clarify the differences? I cannot clarify the differences. I would have to honestly go to ChatGPT because I don't use the LinkedIn Premium, so I can't do a side-by-side comparison. KnowledgeNet has always been kind of my choice. So yeah, I from what I understand actually is that the relationship mapping and KnowledgeNet also is a repository. So say you're a company and you have a sales playbook and you want to upload your playbook into your KnowledgeNet brain, it will help you to craft messaging for outreach more effectively based on your ICP and anything and everything about your company that's included, your go-to-market strategy and everything that's in your sales playbook. So it has that additional piece there. But that is a really good question, and I would say ask ChatGPT, and then I could hook you up with the folks at KnowledgeNet if you chose to get more information on and understanding the difference. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Let me send you a link. Yes, the link for the March 5th webinar will be going out through Hub. So yes, you will receive that. I think you have to register for that. So if you go to the site, wherever you registered for this one, and you'll get, there will be a link that goes out. Hashtags, Al. So hashtags actually are draw attention and help to expand your network and get your posts and reposts and things to show up in the search. So if you were to go to the top of the search bar in LinkedIn and you were to type hashtag um, CEO or hashtag business planning or hashtag sales strategy, any topic, any post on LinkedIn that has that hashtag in the article, in the newsletter, in the post, whatever it may be, on somebody's web profile page or company page, if they have used those hashtags, it will draw attention to them. So ultimately, hashtags are great to use with keywords and they get picked up to help you expand your network. Concerned about putting client personal information into AI platforms. Um, I actually spent a lot of my time putting together AI company policies on how AI can be used. You definitely don't want to drop into Chat GPT anything about your company or anything personal, um, revenue related, um, definitely. And having an AI policy, if you're a business owner, having an AI policy, I'm drafting those almost every day for different clients. They'll come to me and just say, I don't have one. And I know that, I've got like it's like herding kittens. I've got, a team of employees and I know they're using their work computer for personal stuff and they're probably using Grok or Copilot or Chat GPT and they're going in there and I want to make sure that they're not sharing anything that is proprietary to our company, our competition, that feeds the global brain of ChatGPT. So that is the importance of having an AI policy and something to think about. Um, thank you, James. Hopefully, not sure if the recording's going to be sent to you or if it's actually going to be housed on the Hub website. Yeah, not sure how the organization actually does that, but it is being recorded, so you should have access to that. Wonderful. Well, with that, I'm going to say thank you so much. You were a quiet audience, but I appreciate some of the comments. And please don't hesitate to reach out, connect with me at minimum on LinkedIn. Would love to be able to put a face with the name and hope to see you again on March 5th. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.